Hello, my name is Denise Scaloni. Welcome to today's episode of Empowering You. My guest today is Dion Malish. She's the co-owner of Realty One Group Gold Standard. She's becoming a certified Napoleon Hill instructor, starting a podcast, and so much more. Dion is so positive, and she spends her life trying to help people become more positive and more successful. I can't wait for you to meet my friend Dion.
It's gonna be better. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be better, yeah. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
My guest today is Dion Malish, the co-owner of Realty One Group Gold Standard. Her journey doesn't just encompass real estate. She's deeply committed to continuous learning and teaching. Currently, she's on a path to becoming a certified Napoleon Hill instructor in 2024. I can't wait to hear what that all entails.
It's a lot.
For the past 6 years, she's been leading a Think and Grow Rich mastermind where she shares Napoleon Hill's insights to empower and unlock their full potential. She mentors and trains emerging professionals, blending her extensive experience with the latest industry trends to equip them with the skills needed for success. She's passionate about making a positive impact on people's lives. She's an enthusiastic Pittsburgh sports fan, a car enthusiast, and cherishes spending time with her husband, Jason, and their family. Dion says she's focused on mastering the principles of success and sharing this knowledge through mastermind sessions. She's thrilled about her upcoming project, the launch of her podcast, Shine on Success. The podcast will concentrate on Napoleon Hill's principles and the role of adversity in creating opportunities. She'll be engaging with a variety of business owners and entrepreneurs, exploring their journeys through challenges to success. Welcome, Dion.
Hello, Denise. I'm so excited to be back. I think that I was your first guest ever.
You were. You're my first guest in June of 2017.
Wow, that was a long time ago. I can't believe it. We've known each other quite a while, and I'm
Quite a
excited.
while. And you were the first guest on my Empowering Woman show.
Yeah, that's very
And then I had a guest cancel a year later. You came back on again in 2018.
I
And
remember.
we interviewed you again. And things started happening, I think, then for you.
Right, that's when we opened Realty One Group Gold Standard.
Right. And then things just exploded. And I haven't had a chance to have you on this new show yet. So I am so happy that we finally were able to do this.
Me too. I'm excited. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you for being here. And I have to tell you, and I don't usually do this, but for you, Dion, I did it. I did put on my Pittsburgh Penguins shirt because I know what a sports fan you are.
I am a sports fan. There's no doubt about that. I'm so excited about the Steelers and this opportunity. I do feel like we're going to make it to the Super Bowl and win. So I am that person.
You are that person. So is that why you called it Realty One Group Gold Standard?
Well, actually, crazy thing is no.
Okay.
But the gold part of Pittsburgh, obviously, and Realty One Group, when we bought the franchise, they were black and gold. So that was super exciting for me. But like, many years ago, long before this was even thought of, I had a little notepad in my phone, and I wrote down that if I ever started a real estate company, I would want it to be called Standard Real Estate for Rockefeller and Standard Oil. And
Yeah, sure.
that's that Rockefeller had, right? It would carry on to me. So when this happened, then the idea of combining Gold Standard and, being the gold standard in real estate, it was so good. And I had sent my partner, my husband, and my partner's wife, I sent them a list of all kinds of ideas, and we all agreed on Gold Standard, which was perfect because it was actually part of what I wrote down and had in my phone. I probably still have it in my phone from, I think that was 2014 or 2011. I can't remember when I actually put that in writing.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind
So
of
I
goes
know
along with the principles that we talk about, right?
Right. So before you started your agency,
Yeah.
I know you worked for other agencies and you just weren't happy. So you decided to go out and just start your own agency.
Yeah,
And you really turned the real estate world upside down in Pittsburgh, didn't you?
Yeah, we kind of did. We disrupted the market that had been the same for over 100 years. Like it has been the same thing over and over again. Many small companies will come in and try to grow, but the big companies were just so big here. And
Right.
their model was very similar. And whenever we came in and we had this disruption, we came in with this 100% commission plan where we paid the agents most of the money. was shocking, because not only did they get most of the money, they also get support, they also get tools and tech, the things that you get at every other company. Biggest
Right.
difference is the agents first and they get the most money. So all of a sudden we disrupted it, and they did everything they could to tell the agents that it couldn't be possible. There's no way we would make it, and here we are 6 years later.
Right. And I remember you saying, "Oh, I just want this office to reach 100 agents."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how many offices do you have now, Dion?
We have 5, and we have nearly 200 agents, and obviously things change, people get out of the business.
Sure.
So we're looking this year to bust out of that 200 mark and hit 250 to 300 in the next 18 months. That's our goal.
Yeah. So what made you decide to start your own real estate agency? I mean, that has to be a big change from working for someone else. I mean, not just because you were in the beginning. I don't know if you still are, but you were out selling houses. I mean, you were really grinding. Not only
I
were you running your business, you were out there because you didn't have a lot of agents when you first started. You
Yeah.
were out there really pushing and grinding and selling homes and listing homes and doing all the other administrative things. And what
Yeah.
made you decide to take that leap?
So, for about 6 or 7 years prior to starting this company, for the first time, I had hired someone to help me with the admin work. But between myself and Jason, like, he helped me a lot. But we were really working hard. We did about the same amount of transactions each year. We were running about 80 transactions a year. And there are still some teams, even in the local area, that the team with 4 to 8 people
That's
are
huge. That's a lot.
yeah,
Right.
they're not doing 80 transactions. We were doing that ourselves. And so we were definitely grinding, and I had my head down. I just focused, and why did we start a real estate company? I really don't know. I don't have a good solid answer for you, because that was never my dream or my
Right.
intent. I was actually going to move south, and Jason and I took a drive, and we were thinking about what can we do. Real estate, I'd already been in for literally 14 years, and I was doing good, but I was exhausted. I
Right.
was totally exhausted. It's a lot to do most of that stuff on your own. Now, thank God I had Kim and Jason, or else I would have been in trouble. But we started down the coast, we started looking, and then my partner, which is Mike, he came to me and said, let's take a look at this model. And I'm like, nah, I am not interested in owning a real estate company. There's so much to do when you own a real estate company.
Yeah.
But then I went to Lancaster and we looked at it, and I fell in love with the brand. I fell in love with the idea that it was so different than every other company. It's not saying that these companies are bad, because Pittsburgh has
Right.
amazing real estate companies, and
It's just different.
yeah, it's just different, and they do a lot of good things. And because of us, I can tell you one thing, they do a lot more things. And I feel like if the agent didn't join us to make more money, they ended up getting more money from their company, because their companies knew if they didn't change or fix something or start marketing them more or give them a little bit more back, the fees that they take were outrageous. So if we didn't get them to come to our company, we did help the agents. And even if they don't know about it, we really helped all of the agents. So
Right. Right.
this little company with, just me and Mike, and we had one person start with us. Her name was Stephanie, and it was just the 3 of us, and we went out there and we got 100 agents really fast. Now the next 100, it didn't come as fast. And the
Sure.
third 100, it's going to be harder. And I know that once people see that, what we have to offer is so great, I think that we're going to build quickly and, authentically. We're just, we're good people. And I think that's helping a lot too.
Right. One thing I know about, and I think when I read your bio, is you always are not always, not always positive. We all have our ups and downs, but you try to be positive all the time, and you always want to try to help people.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
always want to have a positive impact on somebody.
I think that's what my purpose here is on this earth, is to affect someone's life in a positive way. And I want to do that every day. Like, I don't want to just do that once in a while. Every day I want to have a positive impact. But like you said, there's going to be days, and there are many days that it's
Sure.
difficult, right? Things just hit you in the head or smack you, smack you on the other side. And like, you're like, oh my gosh, everything's coming at me at one time. And it's difficult. 2023 was my most difficult year of my life.
Mhm.
But I can't stay in that space. Like, I can't be in the negative space all the time. I'm just not that person. And I know that if I stay there, then the next thing is I'll be depressed and I'll be sad and I'll be crying every day. And I don't want to do that. I'm battling through it, And I know the only way that I've gotten through it is with the idea of positive mindset and keeping myself positive in a very negative space right now. It's very negative in the world. And I don't want to be that. I want to be that shining light that goes through life and puts that sunshine all over everybody.
Right, right. Whether they want it or not, you're putting
Yeah,
that sunshine out there.
and some people are like, she is getting on my nerves.
Yeah. So I remember the first time we met is you started, I was on Meetup looking around,
Mhm,
looking for networking groups, and I saw this group that said Think and Grow Rich Mastermind.
mhm.
And at the time, I bought the book maybe a year or two before, and it sat on my bookshelf with so many other books. And I saw this, and I thought, oh, I like the restaurant. I like the restaurant. I was like, I'll go check it out. Why not have lunch and see? And that was just amazing. So, what made you decide to start that mastermind group? Did you read Think and Grow Rich prior to that?
I did. And you know what? I owned Think and Grow Rich since I was 18, but it
Okay.
sat on a shelf until probably 2004, whenever, or 2006, I think, when Rhonda Byrne came out with the movie The Secret. The
Yeah.
Secret was so visual for me because I'm a creative person, right? I'm a graphic designer too, and so I'm very creative. So when I watched that movie, it really hit me differently than reading. Although I love to read, I'm passionate about reading.
Mhm.
Visually, that impact was huge. So after watching that and realizing where, the substance of that movie came from, with Wallace Wattles, The Science of Success, and then Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill, I wanted to dive as deep as I could into it. So I created a vision board. I did all the things visually that I could do. But the next step was to form a mastermind alliance, which is part of Napoleon Hill's principles of people around you that want you to succeed and want to learn together and share ideas. And
Sure.
boy, that mastermind group was extremely amazing. Like, it started out with a bang. We had some characters in that group.
We did.
I loved it so much. I kind of was thinking about it today. Like, how can I resurrect that idea of it? It seemed like people were so hungry for that knowledge, where nowadays they're just so everything's going so crazy still after since COVID, right?
Right, right.
So different that there's so many messages coming at us all the time. I just think that the focus is definitely not the same as it was when we started that 6 years ago. People's focus is different.
Absolutely. It's a different world. So, for anyone that doesn't, just explain what Think and Grow Rich is.
Oh my gosh, it's principles of success that Napoleon Hill put together in the early 1900s after he went to Andrew Carnegie, and Andrew Carnegie said to him, I'm looking to hire someone that will go around and interview, 500 business leaders in the world, and I need someone to do it and do it for free. And I think it took 29 seconds, and Napoleon Hill actually said yes. After thinking 29 seconds, think about that. I mean, we've been on here for 17 minutes already,
Right.
29 seconds, and he said yes. And he knew, Andrew Carnegie knew at that point that Napoleon Hill was the right person. So he commissioned him, but didn't pay him to go around, and he did introduce him to the 500 people, right? I mean, Andrew Carnegie, he could introduce him to anyone. I
Sure.
do anything almost just to have that opportunity. And I think that's part of what the idea of the podcast is, to interview business leaders. And, as it grows, and maybe that could happen, in a couple of years, I can interview 500 business leaders and,
Yeah.
learn from them like Napoleon Hill learned. But so he puts together a book, and he creates Think and Grow Rich. And the name itself is something that's just so interesting to people. I think it's the #1 business book sold in the world
Bill.
today from the early 1900s.
Sure.
And there's principles in there that you read it and you read it and you read it. And every time you read it, you get something else from it. And there's a secret to your success somewhere in that book. It's not the same for everyone. And I think that's what's so powerful. You can sit there and read it, and something that'll appeal to you won't to me. And everyone has a different take on it. My personal thought is, I wish we could get this into elementary, junior high school. We could start teaching Napoleon Hill's principles of success at an early age. And so I think that would change the outcome of many people's lives.
Right. And it's not money getting rich. It's
No,
about
it's not
enriching your life.
everything.
Yeah.
Your life riches, your
Right.
family riches, your relationship riches. Of course, at the end of it all, if money is a focus for you, then your
Sure.
money riches. But yeah, it's a fantastic book. There's a lot of good stories. And right now, I'm at reading another book that came, and it's called The Science of Personal Achievement. And we've been doing that in our group this year. And it is so easy to read. So I would recommend, if someone would read this first and then read Think and Grow Rich, I think it would help a lot, because the storytelling in here is fantastic.
It
And
is.
it's just really an easier read.
So I mentioned in your bio that you're becoming a certified Napoleon Hill instructor.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So I know, and I know you've loved Napoleon Hill since you first read that book.
I do. I love that Napoleon Hill has focused his whole life on, learning from other people and then teaching what he learned. And I think that's something that I love too. I know it's something that I love. And what I learn, I get to teach and help the agents with. And that for me is very powerful. But so I signed up for the Napoleon Hill Institute. He had a class, and I really didn't realize that I was going to be a coach. Thought I was being coached. So it took me
Uh-huh.
a while, and unfortunately, right when it first started, my dad had gotten sick, so I was not able to finish. So right now, I'm getting back on track to look at 2024 and finish to become a certified Napoleon Hill coach, just to learn as much as I possibly can. And all of this truly is to help other people. It's not for my own benefit because I know enough about it, but it's the more I learn, the more I can share, and the more I can help the agents as well as everyone that I know. You're not an agent, Denise, and you're
Wow,
part of my life and part of this, mastermind.
absolutely right.
I just feel like that's my gift. And I know that I don't know as much as some people. Like I know one of my friends, Jim Shorkey, he's read Think and Grow Rich. I think he's at 145 times. 145 times. That's a lot of reading.
Some people don't even read 145 books.
No, in their whole life, right? I
Right,
mean,
their whole life. Right.
yeah, so he's very unique, but he knows it's so in depth. And I feel like at this point in my life, I want to just learn as much as I can. Time is not on our side in life. We don't, and I want to be the very best version of myself. And I want to be able to bounce back from adversity faster. Every year, I want to bounce back faster. And I think reading and personal development has helped me be able to do that.
Absolutely. And I told you when I met you, like that was the missing piece of my business, was the whole positive thinking and manifesting things. And that really just pulled things together for me. So we are in this mastermind group.
Yeah.
So if anyone is interested, they can always reach out to you. We're finishing that book that you mentioned right now. We only have a few chapters left. So in a couple of weeks, we'll probably be starting a new book, whether it's Think and Grow Rich or I don't know what we'll be doing, but they can always reach out to you.
Absolutely, I can. I would love to. And I honestly am thinking about resurrecting the idea of doing it in, outside somewhere else where we actually get together again. I think that is even more powerful if we could do that. And so I'm thinking about it, and I hopefully we'll see what happens here coming up.
Yeah, definitely see what happens. So you have this real estate company,
Yeah.
a certified Napoleon Hill instructor.
Yeah.
And then you decide, I think I'll do a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy because I kind of did this with our agents. I did something called Get to Know Every One of Us, and they were little interview series. And I love it, and I love when they want to do it. But it's hard to get them to do it. And I think out of 200 people, I have 45 of them, and I just don't know why. But it's really good for them. It's great for them to just open up a little bit, and it maybe gets over their fear of
Right.
being in front of the camera. So I started that, and then it made me think. Maybe the next level of this is doing this with outside business owners and entrepreneurs to see what adversities they've had in the whole idea of, Think and Grow Rich. What adversity has created what opportunity for you, and how have you busted through that? Because
Right.
we all do. Business owners have them. People have them. Life is adversity. There's a lot of adversity in life. And so I figure this is a good way for me to do it. And it gives me an opportunity to be passionate about this. And I called it Shine on Success because shine in my light, right? Shine in sunshine, shine on success. Let's put the light on it, and let's push through the adversity and get to the other side.
So do you have an official date where this is going to start?
I hope Wednesday.
What? Wow.
Yeah, coming up. I mean, I have 3 recorded already, and now I have to start the interviews. But I have 3 recorded on my own. I'm I'm doing it on my own. I'm not hiring people to do it. I'm doing it myself. So it's, I'm creative. I can figure it out. It was hard though. I tried to learn this one software, and I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot figure this out for nothing.
And I'm still trying to learn that. So I will get back to you. I am still trying to learn that.
I went to something else because it was just too difficult. But I want to just do it and be able to help other people, and just another piece of the marketing, of a real estate company that's unique and being something different in the marketplace.
I think that's what's so different about you, Dion. You're just so genuine that you just want to help people.
I truly
You're
do.
not competitive with people. You just want to help people and help them succeed and give them the
I
tools
really
to
do.
succeed.
I want that and I want the best. That doesn't mean that some days I don't have good days, because there's a lot. When you're in a real estate company, there's like 7,000 different things that it takes to become an owner of a real estate company. And I'm not joking. And we hired a COO, and every day I look at her and I wonder, I'm like, why are you still here? Like, it's so it is so ridiculous, the stuff that happens to us. Like, it's day after day. And you have to be extremely thick-skinned, and you have to learn and be able to pivot very quickly in this business. So it's insane.
So besides the podcast that's starting on Wednesday, this is perfect timing.
Yeah.
What's next? What else do you want to do, Dion?
Oh my gosh, I have so much to do still. Like, I just have more lives to impact. And, I feel like I don't know what the answer is, because I keep asking God, what is it you want me to do? Like, talk through me, whatever you need me to do to get to the next level, whatever that is.
Right.
How can I help more people? How can I impact their lives? Is Realty One Group Gold Standard the vehicle, or is there something else that's coming? Like, the creative side of me is so super creative, but to be honest with you, physically, my arm hurts so bad using the computer so much. And
Yeah.
if I could just create this hand to be incredibly, like, not to hurt so bad, I think that I would sit here and create all day and all night. I love creation. I love it. And
Mhm.
when you create, then you're able to impact, because people, it's more things that I can do to get out there. But unfortunately, I mean, I am getting old.
Oh, we all are.
And yeah, I'm trying though.
Yeah. So, Dion, people that are watching this, there may be someone that has had a lot of adversity. And like you said, 2023 has been a bad year for a lot of us.
I
And
know.
it just, every time you turn around, you just got like punched in the face, punched in the stomach, just came out of nowhere.
Out of
There,
nowhere.
there could be someone sitting there watching this and thinking, well, that's great, but she doesn't know my life or this. What advice would you give someone to try to pull themselves out of that? Because a lot of it is a mindset.
Right.
I mean, if you're in debt and you're poor, you don't have to stay that way. A
No.
lot of it is a mind what you do, or if you're not healthy, trying to get healthy. What advice would you give to start, even to start?
I think the easiest thing to do is to pick up your cell phone, which we all have, right? And go into YouTube and start watching videos of people like Steve Harvey, like Napoleon Hill, like all of the person about Tony Robbins, start listening and wake up every morning and start to write down things that you're grateful for. I think that's important. One thing Steve Harvey teaches in one of his videos that's amazing. It's the top 300 things. Like, if you write down
Right.
300 things that you want in your life, I mean, everything you can possibly think of. I know one of the people that was in our mastermind. She wrote down everything, and her career has taken off the last
It
3 years.
has.
And
And I
watching
put that
her,
aside. Yeah.
yeah, it's just amazing. And she kept writing and writing. And one time I reached out, I'm like, I can't even think of 300 things I
Oh,
want in my life, right? It's so difficult. But one thing he said was, every successful person that he knows, Steve Harvey, has had that list. And that list has, you can maybe count on maybe 5 to 10% every year coming off that list. Imagine that. So start writing down your dreams. Do a vision board. These are all things you can do without cost. Grab the phone that we all have, watch YouTube videos, and big thing is start saying daily declarations of things that you are. It's like, I am worthy. I am an incredible leader. The things that you are, speak them out there, put it out there. So little things like that really do affect your life. And I'm proof positive of it. Denise is. There's people that are in our group that are pursuing their dreams as we speak. I've
right.
watched one of the ladies in our group, I watched her vision board, the entire vision board come true. So this does work, because if you believe it will, it will.
Mhm. And you have to put the work in too. You just
For
can't.
sure. You can't just sit here. You just sit here and say, okay, everybody, okay, I'm going to think and get rich. It just doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you can put as many pictures on the board as you want, but you have to go out and do something too.
Something, and something doesn't always have to be breaking your back and physical labor. There's so many people that are successful right now, and taking advantage of technology and changing their life with it. I mean, look at Instagram and TikTok and all the things that are happening. These
Right.
things, people are just normal people. They just took something that was new, reacted to it quickly, and now they're making, some of them, millions of dollars. So there's
Right.
always something to do. There's riches are all around us. Everywhere you look is money.
Mhm. Yeah. I know you mentioned Steve Harvey, and everyone knows Steve Harvey. He's everywhere. You can't turn a channel without seeing Steve Harvey on something. But he lived in his car for 3 years. I mean, he writes that in his books.
Yeah.
And one thing he said to me when I read one of his books, and his books are excellent, is in every lesson, there's a blessing.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like
It's
every
just
university, right?
right. There's something there.
Right. And so one other thing he says that I love, it's always says this is up your ask. So you want to up your ask. You want to not your, the other word, up your
ASK.
ask, ASK. And you don't know until you ask. It says clearly in all of the books, all the way back to the Bible, ask and ye shall receive, right? It's part of an important part of your life. Ask. You're never going to know until you ask.
Right. And there's been times I thought, oh, this person's going to say no. And you ask, and they say, sure. Oh, that was really easy.
Really easy. It's the most powerful 3-letter word in the English language is ask.
Ask. Right. Well, Dion, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're
I'm
so
glad we
welcome.
finally got you on the show. And I just can't wait to listen to your podcast and see what
Thank
else you're doing on, because you're just an amazing person, a great friend. And I'm just
Thank
so
you.
blessed to have you in my life.
Same, I feel the same about you, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Yes, definitely.
Like a plane, it don't matter 'cause it don't
Thank you for watching today's episode of Empowering You. I would like to thank my guest, Dion English. Dion is such a positive person, and it shows with her success. Her goal is to try to help people become the best that they can be. I hope her stories and her journey has inspired and empowered you to live your best life. Again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.